It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga. Welcome back.
We haven't been here for a while. Grand Slam was very interesting, which we'll talk about. The second annual AEW Grand Slam, and there is some WWE news that's kind of interesting. Survivor Series is going to be shaken up because Mr. Helmsley, he's restarting War Games, bring back War Games for Survivor Series. So, Smiley, what do you think about all that?
I guess Judgment Day is gonna go against the Ones, or what's Roman Reigns' stable called again? The Bloodline?
Yeah.
Or the Ones? They say we the Ones.
Really? They say that?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's not like they all point their fingers in the air and they say we the Ones.
Good for them.
That's what. Yeah. That's
all right.
That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna walk into the War Games, and
Big Cass did that too. Remember that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did point his finger
with his finger in the air. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's 7 feet tall.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to. I mean, all jokes aside, because it's like, Hunter obviously has brought some noticeable changes. I haven't really noticed because it's still just hard. I can't watch Raw every week, and SmackDown 2-3 hours a week. I can't, because it's yes, people have their last names now. From what I see, there seems to be more of a focus on wrestling. People say wrestling on the show now. Wow, yeah, people are allowed to say wrestler, but it's this in terms of storylines though and characters, it's just not really much to be interested in. I don't know.
War Games, good or bad?
Oh, good. Yeah, because usually Survivor Series has normally been just every match is a 12-person tag, or is it 5-on-5?
It's 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's usually every match is a 5-on-5, but at least maybe they'll have 2 War Games matches and then just less 5-on-5 matches. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, that wasn't clear. Hunter just said there's going to be 2 War Games matches, and men and women, and it's not going to be SmackDown versus Raw, because when I first heard the news, the first thing that came into my head is, okay, there's going to be men wearing SmackDown shirts and men wearing Raw shirts, women wearing Raw shirts and women wearing SmackDown shirts. And luckily that's out the window. He verbally said it's not going to be SmackDown versus Raw. It's going to be quote unquote storyline based. Now,
what?
Okay, yes. What he means is there's going to be some sort of, it's not just Raw versus SmackDown. It's not just, it's not brand supremacy, quote unquote. It's going to be like wrestling. What wrestling is, series of events is going to lead to the War Games match. Here's the only problem. It's not really a big problem, but I will say I understand why he did that. One, let me just say, Survivor Series needed shaking up because it was a nothing pay-per-view. It's just a bunch of matches that happened that don't mean anything. Yeah, a lot of people raved about some of the Survivor Series matches that happened, and the only reason why those matches happened every year is because the Raw guy wrestled the SmackDown guy, and the Raw woman wrestled the SmackDown woman, and it didn't mean anything. Now it's okay, we have a thing, a new thing that it's different from how it's done previously, which is good. But the problem is, why do you need to, aside from the fact that yes, you're going to sell tickets to this, why do you need to tell us that there's going to be 2 War Games matches when you can just use your TV show to set up a program that's going to lead to War Games matches? Well, I give AEW credit for blood and guts, because they didn't say, Tony Khan didn't say we're going to have a blood and guts match at this day, at this date, and it's going to be a storyline that's going to lead to that. He didn't say that.
Wrestling is storyline based.
No kidding.
Have all of these. Think of every Survivor Series, even the boring ones. All of them were based on storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling, that's like saying oh, this new video game is gonna have levels.
Yeah. So that idea, like, what it's a little bit, but I get it because, like, okay, the idea of announcing War Games at Survivor Series, people want to buy tickets to that. But if you did it the other way and you just, the build to Survivor Series, or the build to, using your TV every week to create an issue that can lead to War Games. Like, everything in WWE now is branding, right? Hell in a Cell, is every year there's going to be 2 Hell in a Cell matches, even though some of the matches that take place in the Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view don't really warrant that. It used to be the Hell in a Cell match was rare, and it only came out when there was some crazy blood feud that needed to be blown off. It's not the case anymore. Now let's sell pay-per-views. Hell in a Cell is June 1st or whatever, and it's going to be Hell in a Cell matches. You're going to see Hell in a Cell matches on this date every year. The same thing with Extreme Rules, which is the next WWE pay-per-view in Philadelphia, because, ECW, right? So every match is going to have some sort of stipulation, instead of just building up a program that leads to a match with a stipulation. But whatever.
Yeah, like kind of like what you said. Like, what if on TV, Roman's group of people challenged Dominic Mysterio's group of people, or the other way around, to a War Games match, and that's how you announce it, rather than be like, we're going to have a War Games match, and one for the men, one for the women, and it's gonna be based around storylines. That's like, oh, all right, okay.
Yeah.
You remember when Batista challenged who? No, I think it was Triple H who challenged Batista in the third match of their series. Triple H challenged Batista to a Hell in a Cell, and that's how they announced the match. Yep. Everyone was like, "Wow, what the hell is Hell in a Cell?" Well, some people who haven't seen it before, at least I was, because at that point that was the first Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen. So I was like, "Oh, what the hell is that?" And they explained it perfectly well. Oh yeah, Hunter won a bunch of these, I guess, or he was in a bunch of them, and he knows Hell in a Cell more than Batista, the young guy.
Yep,
made sense.
Great story. But now it's like, okay, it's all about selling tickets instead of just taking people on a ride and telling a good story. But that being said, I'm definitely interested to seeing what happens here, because the NXT War Games, most of them are pretty good. Most of them are really good, actually. Most of them, but I'm curious to see how they're going to do it this time. But to WWE's credit, to Hunter's credit, from what I'm hearing about some of the shows, they're doing, especially with the women, with Bayley, Dakota Kai, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss, and all those guys, and Asuka, I think it looks like they're going that way. Everything that's happening now is leading to what can be a War Games match, but I think it's better to just instead of announcing we're gonna have a War Games match, how about these people, these men and women are having issues, War Games, we'll settle it in War Games. That's it. But
you know what I've been thinking about recently? Like, this is sort of a segue, but not really, but it kind of pertains to this. Like, you remember how Marvel, right? You remember how they used to announce their movies one at a time? Like, after we saw a movie, we would hear about a trailer for, oh, this is what they're doing next. And like, they kept you guessing, oh, I wonder what they're going to do next. And then we heard about, oh, they're going to make the Avengers movie. They're going to bring these guys together. That's cool. We found out about it piece by piece. Now it's like, we're going to announce 10 things at once with a roadmap. That's kind of the equivalent. Like, Triple H is telling us, we're going to have this stuff at Survivor Series, instead of like using your television show to surprise people and keep them guessing. But I don't know.
Yep. But, I think it's going to be, I'm interested in it. I'm not going to poo-poo it, but it's just the way WWE is. It has been for the past 15 years or so. Whatever is your property, you just market that, and that's it. It's not, the storylines on TV are almost secondary to, just the business and the brand of WWE. So if they do that, and if they do that, like, how can you not poo-poo on it? Because that doesn't really give you much to be excited for. No, I'm going to see how the War Games matches are going to be. I'm not just going to say, Triple H did it this way, therefore I don't give a shit about the War Games match. I'm going to watch it with an open mind, but Yeah, I mean, listen.
I mean, I'm sure
that's just the way.
I'm sure it's gonna be fun because, like, like NXT's first War Games was great, but the thing is, even NXT, they kind of just told you on television, "Oh yeah, I challenge you to a War Games match," something like that. Like, or like, wait, didn't NXT announce it as a pay-per-view, like NXT War Games?
I don't remember what they did, but it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But if I really just don't want to see SmackDown versus Raw anymore. That's really what I don't want to see anymore. You announcing there's going to be War Games matches, like, but at the same time, as long as if there's no SmackDown versus Raw bullshit, I'm cool, like, honestly. But yeah, that brand extension thing has got to go away. It's been 20 years. It's time to throw that in the trash.
Remember when they did Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT?
Yeah, it was fine. It was it was cool. We got Keith Lee and Adam Cole on TV and Pete Dunne. It was cool.
Imagine they do main roster versus developmental.
Oh God, no.
They just say that on TV, like those exact words.
God. Well, that's what Triple H thinks of it now.
Oh yeah, after all those years of saying, "Oh, we're not developmental," and then he just says,
it's the third. It's his own brand. Yeah, Ariel Helwani is like, well, you guys got beat by AEW. He's like, well, they beat our developmental. Good job. Like,
hey, look, Tony Khan has more fucking money than Jim Crockett. He's not going to take this fucking shit. Remember?
No, he's not. He's not going to take it. Jesus. Oh man, wrestling promoters, man, they're characters. Exactly. Well, Hunter is a character, but man, he's funny.
Yeah, I get it from Hunter, but like from Tony, Tony's like a CEO, like an actual CEO, isn't he?
Tony's the CEO of
CEO,
AEW.
Yeah, CEO, yeah, CEO, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. AEW Grand Slam. Once again, it was at Arthur Ashe in Queens, and it was another great show, I thought.
There were a lot of great things on this show. Claudio, you seeing Claudio live, and like especially where we were sitting, seeing Claudio live was I never thought I would ever see him live. Like, because in WWE, when we were going to WWE shows, at that point he was in the bar. We saw him a couple of times, right? But like not like this, one-on-one match for a world title. Man, he's tremendous. He's absolutely tremendous. Like, all he has to do is literally like stand there and look at the crowd, and everyone just like loses their minds because they love him that much. And Jericho is really good. Their opening match is fantastic. Freaking Saraya came back. Like, holy shit! Like formerly known as Paige. Like that caught me off guard. Like that was like, holy crap.
And that was kind of poetic too, because the last time I saw her was at the Nassau Coliseum for a house show in 2017, and she had that infamous match with Sasha Banks where she re-injured her neck and she never wrestled after that. She came back as the was that before or after her group?
No. That was before, because I think actually she came back with them, I think, with Absolution.
Right, Absolution.
And during their run, that's when she got in.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So it was really good to see her. Apparently she's not cleared yet. To wrestle. So I'm not sure what she's gonna do. But I don't know. It's good to see her
she has natural charisma. I don't know, like just her walking out there. Yeah, just the crowd. Everyone was like, "Wow." Yeah, she's always been natural like that.
Yeah. And what's good about her? It's if she came out to the ring, she's probably going to wrestle. It's just she hasn't been officially cleared yet, so we don't. But I think all signs point to she's going to wrestle, because she wouldn't have. I don't think she would have come out. I don't think so. Maybe she'll be like an agent for now.
I would have just came to the stage and talked to Tony. I don't know.
I think she's gonna wrestle, but we'll see. That remains to be seen.
I remember watching her on Renee Paquette's podcast.
That's a good one. Everyone go listen to that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was great. And I'm thinking, like, in the back of my head, did she go to AEW? Nah. I didn't want to like add something like, no, I don't want to feed into any like internet rumors. And then we went to AEW and it was like, oh shit.
She is.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, good for her.
Oh, and seeing Bryan Danielson live again.
Oh man. Come on now.
Moxley, that was awesome.
Come on now.
crap, that was awesome.
You know what's interesting about this Grand Slam show is that, just like last year, I almost forgot that it was like a TV taping. Like I almost forget this is Dynamite. This is on TV. It's not like a pay-per-view. It felt like a pay-per-view.
It did.
Nothing dragged.
Yeah, I mean, every time they announced Bryan Danielson, if they announced Bryan Danielson in the main event for a world championship, it felt like, I mean, him fighting Omega, like when we first went to that arena.
Yep.
That was the first match in the show, which to me should have main evented.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus Christ, that atmosphere was like almost like it felt like WrestleMania. Like we just walked in there and we were further back, but we still had amazing seats.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like everywhere. That's another thing I like about Arthur Ashe. Everywhere is a great seat.
Yeah.
And yeah, the atmosphere is incredible this year and last year. And I was at WrestleMania and I could say it felt like that. It had a, like, as they say, big match feel. But to Claudio and Jericho.
You didn't tell me I was bugging, so I knew I wasn't. Because you actually went to WrestleMania.
Yeah, which you went. Yeah, it was there. It was, yeah. There was not like these Grand Slams. You take last year's Grand Slam and this year's Grand Slam, it was so much better than that WrestleMania that I went to. But the WrestleMania I went to was fun too. But anyway, Claudio and Jericho. That this was also poetic because, I seen Claudio wrestle in Ring of Honor in the flesh, and have amazing matches, even in WWE. With the bar with Sheamus. That match at SummerSlam 2017, it was Moxley, Seth versus the Bar, and it was unbelievably good. And
also
was crazy.
Cesaro's matches with Danielson, his matches with John Cena.
Yeah,
he gave John Cena some of his best TV matches ever.
Yeah, but now there's more at stake. You know what I mean? Yeah. It felt like a bigger deal, and he is just as popular, if not more popular than he ever was. The tag team title match, the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory, I think Keith Lee, Shane Strickland. That was good. It was really good. It was a good match. There was some some funny spots. Max Caster.
Okay, so like normally when we're like, you're at a wrestling show, right? You see a botch, right? And it's like, okay, the people can move. Everyone, people go, oh, you fucked up, but most of the time, like you and I, like we can okay, whatever, they botched. This was special because they're about to go for their finish, right? Because spoiler alert, they won the titles.
Spoiler, it happened. It already happened already.
But, just in case, but whatever. They're about to go for their finish and win the championships, but I don't know what happened. They pretty much both crashed and burned, and we want to stand up. We were standing up, oh, they're gonna do it. And then they crashed and burned, and then we sat down. We were like, oh, we felt so embarrassed when we sat down. Holy shit.
Oh man, I felt bad.
And the match went on another for the longest 5 minutes. Oh my God.
But that's when it got amazing, because these guys were true professionals. Okay, we fucked up, but let's keep going. But dude, let's keep going. We gotta, yeah.
It was an audible silence, for a little bit, but they got it back because people knew they were gonna get it.
Yeah, and then then they went for then the actual finish of the match was great, and Max hit his elbow, and it was the crowd went nuts. It was awesome, and then they had Fabulous come out and DJ.
Yeah, Fabulous came out for Strickland and Keith Lee.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They came out for this match. Yeah, they were there. It was really cool. It was really nice to see that, New York hip hop people. But the only thing, the thing is, I mean, it was cool to see them. I think they're kind of it's almost like targeting maybe the 25 to 34, 54 demographic but younger people probably don't know who these guys are. But the thing is, they're very important to Queens and everything like that. So it was cool to see see that. But younger people
know who West Side Gun is, because West Side
probably. Yeah, he was there, but he's always there. He's at WWE shows too. Him and Conway the Machine are always at WWE shows and AEW shows front and center with all their chains on and everything. But that was a good moment. And it was good to see a bunch of black folks competing for a title on a major wrestling promotion. on a big show like that. You know,
with no stereotypes, no dumb
No.
jokes, no one stole anything.
No.
Like, you know, it's like I love Shad Gaspard. Like I really did. Like just knowing what kind of human he was. But like it's hard to get past like the gimmick that they gave him in WWE, you know?
Yeah, they were criminals. Straight up.
Yeah, they were criminals.
Yeah. So that was not good. Not
but
good.
Seeing all these black people in the ring who are all amazing.
Yep.
Like I'm not gonna lie, like I always loved Anthony Bowens, but Max Caster, he kind of grew on me. Like at first I was like, Jesus Christ, this is, but like I don't know. Yeah, I started to like I really started to like the Acclaimed a lot, and Strickland, Keith Lee. Maybe this loss could lead to them going, you know, like maybe splitting up and having their own feud too. So
yep. And you know, these guys, the Acclaimed especially, have a ton of charisma. I love that. I just don't want nameless, faceless, great athletes just doing shit. You know, that's okay on a card. That has a spot on a card, but like, you know, a big show like this, you need all guns firing. Especially now that you're missing a lot of stars, but the stars missing. You know, they still have star power, and they were able to put together a really good show. That's another thing about the. You know, we've been to a lot of WWE TV tapings. Like I went to SmackDown in March, and this was still the Vince era. And I swear to you, that was a 2-hour show. It felt like a 4-hour show. It dragged. It was so painful to get through, and there was barely any wrestling at all. And this was before WrestleMania. This is the build up to WrestleMania. And this felt like just another SmackDown in like October or something. It was not even that. I can't even say that. There was nothing. There was video packages. There was a kiss cam in a wrestling show. 2 of them.
Other than Cody, what the hell happened at WrestleMania again?
Oh, this WrestleMania? Steve Austin, Kevin.
Oh,
Kevin
yeah,
Owens.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. That was the best
Yeah,
stuff.
you're right.
Becky
that show did nothing to build WrestleMania.
No, it built WrestleMania, but it did it poorly. It did it very poorly because it was like, this is not a wrestling show. This is just a show in front of a live crowd. That's really what it was. There was nothing. But anyway, this Dynamite show was the opposite. It was a wrestling show. If you like wrestling, this was the show for you. And it didn't drag. It's like, I looked at my phone. I'm like, oh my God, it's almost time for the main event. Holy shit. 2 hours flew by.
You know, it's crazy because like usually like wrestling, like we got up to get food once, and I was thinking about getting up again just so I can get some fries or whatever. And before I knew it, they announced, Moxley and Danielson is next. I'm like, wow, I didn't get up. We only got up once that entire show.
Yeah, that match
like that. It really flew those first 2 hours. Like we didn't stay for Rampage, but man, that Dynamite Live was insane.
Yeah. And because the crowd was not going to get hotter than that, you know, they weren't, because they're going to be there for another 2 hours after that. And I knew I was going to be tired. So I'd rather get out. Pay-per-views are different because I can stay for a 4-hour pay-per-view because it's a pay-per-view, right? And you know what I mean? It's just match. And there's going to be the crescendo. You're staying for the main event. That's the crescendo. But like Dynamite, the crescendo, the main event, 2 big stars, world title, then it's going to, because you're doing a separate TV taping. And okay, I will say this about Rampage. Going to see Rampage live. You're seeing, because Rampage is a 1-hour show, but when you're there live, it's a tape delay. So they're taping this show to air on Friday, but they have to edit it because it's a 1-hour show. So you're going to see matches completely unedited and, you know, in all its rawest form, which is cool. But after you stayed through Dark Elevation at 7 p.m., you watch the entire Dynamite from 8 to 10, but you're there for 3 hours already. You're going to start to feel a little like, okay, I'm a little tired now. But yeah, but that main event, Moxley, Bryan Danielson. Who did you want to win? Like, are you cool with Moxley winning, or? I
mean, no, like I love Jon Moxley. Like him being world champion is not a bad thing at all. Like it's never really been a bad thing. I really wanted Danielson to win, because like in my head, I'm like, okay, the first time I saw Bryan Danielson wrestle live, he wrestled Kenny Omega, the world champion, to a draw. I'm thinking, okay, the next time I come back here, he's probably going to win that title. And he didn't. So I was like, oh, okay, he didn't. But I look, listen, it was a great main event. And it wasn't like he lost to a guy where I'm like, fuck me. Like, why couldn't they just give him the time? I mean, but they gave it to Moxley, who's been on a roll this year. So I'm sure Danielson will win that title. But like, in my head, I'm like, oh, wait. If I kind of felt it in my bones, wait, Danielson's going to win. He's definitely going to win. But it's okay if he didn't.
Yeah. You know what? Like, this is one of those things. Like, this match is like, either way, I would be cool. But I think that Bryan Danielson is in his Shawn Michaels era, right? Right? Because he came back after, not wrestling for a little while. Then he was in WWE. Then he came back to AEW. And, he was in a bunch of big matches. But the thing is, to me, right, as of right now, eventually, to me, he should be the champion eventually. But right now, he doesn't need a title because now it's all about, to me, what I think Tony Khan is doing. I can't really speak for him, but I watching the show, I think that's what he's doing. He's trying to prepare the next, wave of main event level guys. You know what I mean? He's not trying to just, put a belt on somebody just to put a belt on somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like Hangman Page beating Bryan Danielson twice. He needed to do that because if he didn't do that, he would come off as another guy in the elite. No, like, you know what I mean? So it's good that Bryan Danielson is doing that, but like eventually, to me, he should be the champion. But like with Moxley now, to me, Moxley is like, now he's the literal, but he was before like the spiritual, figurative AEW champion because the people were really behind him, especially that promo that he cut after All Out. And, maybe tensions were, bad backstage and he felt that, and maybe he felt the fans felt a little bit weird. Some of the fans felt a little bit weird after all the big fight that happened backstage. But that promo he cut, and he made the title and the championship seem significant and not something that you just wear. He mentioned buying it. You could buy it at AEWshop.com, but it's like this means something to me. I was like, okay, this is the champion. This guy, and then all summer, Punk got hurt, the top stars hurt, and Moxley stepped up to the plate, defeated Tanahashi, all this other stuff, and he was quote unquote the interim champion. But Moxley's like, no, I'm the fucking champion. Punk comes back, beats, he beats Punk, becomes the de facto AEW world champion. So he definitely, and then Punk, Punk beats him, then Punk, he's injured, suspended, all this stuff. And he's like, fuck that, I'm the champion. And he became the champion again. Beautiful. I love it.
Well, like Moxley's promo that he cut on TV, that was like probably the only other thing that could touch CM Punk's We Are Chicago promo. Because that shit was like, I'm going to remember that forever, but I'm also going to remember Moxley's promo forever. Because those are probably like, that's the thing, like, those two have been like killing it. Like, obviously CM Punk is like on a huge level, but like Moxley, he's like consistent. Like, he consistently having good matches, consistently cutting good promos. Like, if it's not Punk or Danielson, Moxley's not a wrong choice to be champion at all.
No,
like,
no.
Yeah, in the back of my head, if things were perfect, would I have loved to see like Bryan Danielson versus Punk for the championship at Arthur Ashe? Or like Punk, it probably would have been Punk and MJF, where we could have we would have been watching. But honestly, all things considered, like, we still got a fantastic main event. We're still able to see Bryan Danielson live. So, the Fatal 4-Way. I didn't care for the Fatal 4-Way at All Out, but this Fatal 4-Way
was awesome.
Because like they weren't just doing moves; they were all four of them were trying to win. Like Toni Storm, she didn't even win with her finish. She just did by any means in that moment not get tapped out and just roll up. She rolled up Britt Baker, right?
Yeah. It protects Britt Baker, and he could set up another match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it but you think it wasn't like the roll up felt very natural. Like it actually felt like out of nowhere. Like, I felt like all four of them were trying to win. That's what I like. That's why I usually hate multi-person matches where everyone's just doing their spots. Yeah,
exactly. Like this match was perfect in that regard. It was so simple. Maybe it's because we're there live. So we're not watching it on TV and there's no commercial breaks. We're seeing
some of those commercial breaks are annoying watching on TV. They really like, especially when they go they do commercial breaks during a main event match sometimes.
You got to do that. That's the nature of being on television.
I mean, like, because like, it would be cool because like there are some times where I've seen like, the whole show will have commercials like, oh, for this world title match main event we won't have any commercials.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, but you can't do that all the time. But that does happen, and that should that can happen more. But it's a necessary evil. If you're watching it on TV, like that pays the bills, right? So, but. Yeah, that women's match was very simple, right to the point. There was nothing crazy. It wasn't, they got in there and it was great. It was a very simple match. And like it was kind of like Jade Cargill and Tay Conti at Revolution. It was so simple. It was right to the point. We all know Jade Cargill's limitations athletically. So they went right to the point, and it was so simple, it was so easy to watch, and was nothing, what I mean? It hid Jade's weaknesses and it just showed her strengths. It was great. In this match, everybody did what they did best. Even Athena, who does a lot of moves, she got some of her stuff in, but it wasn't like, too much.
One of her moves actually mattered. She actually broke I think she gave Britt Baker a bloody nose and was effective.
No, yeah, good. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Who's always great every time we see her live, ever since Evolution, and like every time we see her live, she's always great. Toni Storm. Yeah, she's not the greatest promo in the world, but man, she's a wonderful worker. She
looks like she has a look. She looks like a superstar. She looks like $1 million. But yeah, you're right. She's not the greatest talker in the world.
I always talk because Tony kind of has the money. Just get her Barracuda because her song sounds like Barracuda. Just give her Barracuda. Like buy Barracuda for her. He has that money, right?
What?
He has that money, right?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. You can play that in perpetuity to play hard. Yeah.
Exactly.
You play hard. Well, if they're in Seattle, right? If they're in Seattle, they can get Hart to come play Barracuda for Toni Storm. As a whole show, it was better than last year, to me, just as a top to bottom. But Grand Slam last year was awesome too. But this show was just, everybody was on fire. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. It's Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
Smiley Ariaga. Good to be back.
Yep. And we shall be back. We'll probably be back to talk Full Gear, or maybe if we're feeling Extreme Rules. We'll see.
Extreme Rules? What the hell's going to have Extreme Rules?
Well, we'll find out.